great.
It was great. I mean, and Italo is an entertainer. You know, I mean, yes, he could serve heats well, but more than anything, he just is an entertainer. It's like you can't help but focus your attention on what he's doing, even just paddling. You know, he's exciting, fun to watch. He found the first left and went above the lip. I mean, it's pretty much if you're going to pick someone in the draw to go left and do something and get a score in their score line going left, it's Italo.
Creme de la creme of championship tour talent keeps on with the participation in this one. Kanoa Igarashi out there in red. It's going to be a shot taken on. Winner last time this event ran as a top ranking qualifier, Samuel Pupo out of Brazil. He was on a tear back in 2019. Kalani Ball of Australia and Rafael Teixeira of Brazil, both great competitors. We'll have something to say as well of their own. 30-minute heats. We're rolling on through this number 13, and this is live action. We've got a paddle from Igarashi. A little nice entry out of the lip down to a beautiful looking bowl. That's great rail work off the top from him. And he'll pump once and again. Beautiful, clean line from Kanoa. Really well done. He's got some white water to navigate. Just kind of emphasizes the sort of thrusts as he tries to get around. Looking for an inside. Let's see if it's forthcoming. Find a section here. Waves just making him be a little patient. Pay off some dividends. There's the inside runner he was looking for. And again, really nice. A trademark turn from him. That kind of tail tap squirt out of the top. And a really well surfed first wave.
Big number coming. First real connection with two-turn combo on the outside section, and they were both brilliant turns. Yeah, he had to wait it out for that inside section. Didn't quite get the finish that he would have liked, but I still see an excellent number coming here. If I were on that judging panel, I'd say 8.5. Bing, bing. That's what I would type in. I don't know if I'm going to get even close to correct, but I like to do it sometimes. I like to put numbers out there, and I just did it.
Let's see what our
I could eat my words.
I reckon it's going to be right up there with you, Pete. It's beautiful rail surfing. The judges do like to reward at a wave like this. Sometimes it just really feels like the surfing's kind of matching the wave. You get good numbers for being at odds with the wave and taking it on, but this just fits so well to the rhythm of this bomb.
Look how clean the face is for this first turn. It just arcs it. Nice angle of approach straight into another one here. And again, a little tighter in the arc. And a quick little rebound there. Missed that timed a little bit if you really wanted to critique, but ultimately those first two cars were just beautiful. Does wait it out. You know, he figured with this fuller tide, he is going to get an opening up section here. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it looked as soon as he got around here. You're like, whoa, here it is. Look at this little inside double up. Gets himself another turn, which was nice. I mean, I still feel like this could even go. Oh, well, look at that. The score's in. Should I go into the panel and just give it up?
Wow, absolutely nails the number. 8.5 comes in. The Condor called it. And getting the score absolutely spot on. We're watching a replay of Teixeira here. A little bit more lateral from him.
Yeah, not the quality of wave, right? I mean, that was really what Igarashi made it look so easy because the wave was there. The choice was perfect. Where he paddled into it was perfect. And, you know, that time spent here on this Portuguese coast is paying big dividends.
As we see Pupo in blue swinging on a nice looking entry. Maybe lacking sort of force and the power of the wave of Igarashi, but nevertheless he's getting his speed going and he's staying super lively as he'll work this thing over through a little bit of slopey business and then his eyes down the line. It's a little fluffy section just to redirect down, gather speed again. Almost started that turn a little too early, recovers it well, and a bit more spice into that one.
Oh, hold on.
And he'll just about cling on to it. He's got a lot done on this wave. He'll be feeling that in the legs as he finishes off strong down on the inside. And a well put together wave.
Very nicely done. Won't be at the same echelon as we see from Kanoa Igarashi, but a great start for Sammy Pupo, who would be coming off some great memories at this spot, taking a win at the QS 10,000 level, which is very similar level of competition here. So watch the replay here. Not as big a wave as we saw Kanoa on, but nice and smooth on the face. I mean, we've seen a drastic improvement from this morning. Lots more opportunity as far as the wave quality is concerned. Maybe not as many waves to be had, but ultimately the quality much, much better. And after the disappointing performance that Sammy would have brought to the US Open, I mean, losing first round, he would have been one of the, I would say, favorites as a youngster, having big event wins at this level. To see him lose in a 4th place position at the U.S. Open was a pretty, that's QS reality, you know? You're not always going to win everything, and so you have to be able to bounce back from those losses in a big way, and he's done that. It seems like right now he's already got a good rhythm.
And here's Italo Ferreira just negotiating. A swarm of fans all looking for selfies and autographs, or even just to maybe just breathe in his general mist, maybe touch a little bit of wetness off the lycra and just be close to Italo.
Little scratch of the fingernail, grab some wax off his board. I think the selfie is the one, right? I mean, yeah, straight to Instagram.
Italo Ferreira, a massive fan favorite in this and every other part of the world as it goes. Particularly popular down here. But I tell you what, he didn't get first in that heat. He didn't have it all his own way. Hiroto Ohara surfed amazing out there. Let's hear from him. He's standing by with Joanna.
That's right. Congratulations. I mean, I gotta ask, you were in the heat with the 2019 world champion. How does it feel to come in first?
Yeah, feels good though. First heats in Ericeira. I didn't compete last year, so it's been a while. And yeah, super happy to be back here. And finally beat Italo, because Italo beat me twice in the Olympics. So.
Were you nervous going in?
Not really. It just looks, the waves looks fun, so looks so much better than yesterday. And yeah, I can't wait to compete, and this is pretty much one of my favorite places to surf. So yeah, happy to able to make it through.
What are you hoping to achieve here at the Challenger Series?
Definitely win this event and qualify for the championship tour. So yeah, if I beat Italo in round 1, I'm not win this event. So still just focus for the next heat.
Well, that's definitely a great start. Good job, and we'll see you in the next round.
What a legend, man. Love him. Love his surfing. Love his vibe. And a great performance from Hiroto Ohara.
I mean, you take a round 1 heat win, that's confidence, but you beat a world champion, that's a little bit more, right? It's a little extra spice. It feels pretty good.
Definitely. And you just feel like different surfers, sort of different ways they approach riding a wave. His surfing, when it's dialed in, it's so good in a spot like this. Getting super low to the water and a powerful wave, like you said, it gets steep kind of quick on you. It feels like he's ticking a lot of boxes to potentially go a long way, but we've got a lot of surfing.
Yeah, there is. I mean, every heat's a different story. But Hiroto in that heat, great flow, great timing. You know, and that's always critical here, especially if you're trying to link a couple maneuvers together. You're not always going to get that opportunity, and when you do, their timing better be good. You better not make any mistakes in that bottom turn or in the top turn, because anytime you lose that speed or lose any kind of little hitch and stuff, you're going to pay for it. So good job. The 2 opportunities that he got, he made it happen. I feel like, you know, Italo had that one opportunity with his 8, which was a great wave, but really he didn't find anything else. He had a couple falls on some rights and then ended up getting a left and getting the air, which ended up being in his top 2. But, you know, the opportunities weren't always there for Italo in that heat.
Igarashi commanding with his early wave, 8.5, a massive number. What EDP ride of the day material at the moment, that's still with Nat Young for his backhand blast on an oncoming section. So check out our overview. Just think about Kanoa Igarashi and this, kind of how he's faring. Very much an established name and an event winner on the championship deal, but maybe a little surprised not to see him make that final 5. It was close, but couldn't quite get it there.
I would say he was right there. I mean, it's tough to look past the 3, right? I think there was always a fight for 4th and 5th.
Yeah.
With Italo, Felipe, and Gabriel. I mean, they were going to be. I mean, just watch the start of the season. It was pretty much those 3 guys were the guys to watch. Yes, Kanoa. He was close. I think the surprise would have been maybe Connor Coffin, being that you look at the schedule, it necessarily wasn't really in his wheelhouse, although now it is. Yeah. now I'm a backer, right? But Kanoa, if you look at that kind of a schedule, you'd say, yeah, he was the guy that was going to be probably talking about that top 5. You know, but anything happens in events. That's just how surfing is. The ocean is a dictator of all things. You need to be in rhythm with the great ocean.
Here it goes in live action with a little tentative entry into a wave, and he's statuesque as he just steers the ship back towards the lineup to insides, nothing doing on that one. That's interesting. Always we stick with live. And you see Kalani Ball leaning hard into some turns, just jamming around in a pocket. And again, push that tail off the white water, just put a little bit extra into a turn. Some wobbly stuff through this middle part of the way, which she does a reasonable job of negotiating. Won't get a little inside section. Under 17 to go. Ball really looking for something of quality. Nothing so far for him.
I like that wave. I think that it's looking in comparison to, say, Sammy Pupo's 6'5", the linkage of those 3 turns on the outside, to me, I kind of liked it. I don't know if the judges will, but I feel like it's comparable to Sammy's wave, right in that same ballpark. Could be a little higher, could be a little lower, but right in that same ballpark. So he's in this heat now. Let's take a look at this one. A nice, clean, open face. Just that compressed bottom turn, nice variety in these 2 carves. You know, this one goes with the forward arm, wraps it around it. There's the layback snap. This one gets the drift, so 3 solid different types of turns. He didn't get any inside connection there, but Sammy was actually more of a disjointed wave. It kind of like there was moments all the way through it. This one, there was those combination of major moves linked together, and I think the judges will eat that part up. So maybe even lift it, maybe 7-ish kind of zone. We'll see. I mean, again, I'm not a judge, but I think we all as fans start to throw scores out there for just to see where you're at as far as judging scale and what you've seen most of the day.
Comes in slightly better, 6.87 as you thought, Pete. He does improve. Just compare that to Samuel Pupo. I think the variety, like you said, the watch word and no real downtime between. Really nice surf wave. Don't always need that go all the way to the end and get right under the rocks. He can still get a good score through that opening mid part of the wave. And good stuff from Kalani Ball, getting himself up into 2nd place now. Still sitting on a 1 as a throwaway. 15-20 remaining in this one. Igarashi with that big number that he dropped early on. But we talk about that final 5. That top 5 really is the thing now. Before top 5 was like, obviously it was an accolade to get in the top 5, but relatively kind of meaningless between 5th and 6th now. I mean, the difference between 5th and 6th is huge. So it's interesting how that might kind of just change the mindset of our surfers about kind of where they're trying to be, obviously, come season's end.
And the league is actually now being set up that way. It's stepping stones into the world title, right? So you have the QS, which is the regional events. You now make it into the Challenger Series, with the Challenger Series into the CT, and then the CT, you got to make it into the top 5 to fight for a world title, right? So it's kind of tiered out. It's set up that way. I love it. I think I love the change. I think that there's a distinct way to get to that, and then all of a sudden you can decide a world title in a final day at a place that's going to be awesome. I mean, they have to really put an emphasis on that place. The Rip Curl WSL finals have to be in a very high quality wave. I mean, we had a 10-day waiting period for a 1-day event, right? That's basically, you're going to get yourself a pretty good opportunity on a good day of surf to figure that out. The forecasting is so good these days that ultimately you can do that. And gosh, how exciting was it?
Goes Kalani Ball, 2nd place in this heat, working on his backup. I dare say they've improved what he had. He goes with a similar sort of turn, goes that layback into the oncoming lip, gets it done, gets out clean, and he will improve certainly on his 1.67. I think he'll threaten his high score. Let's see the judges process. 13 and 40 remaining in this one. Still Igarashi looking good. That massive 8.5.
It's entertaining that to me, as I'm seeing here, is that there's this, everyone kind of came to California, especially the Australians. They had to come pretty early, and they know they're going to be gone for a while, so they picked up quivers of certain shapers in town. I see a Mayhem under the feet of Kalani Ball. Obviously has an Australian shape that he would use throughout his career, but picking up a board and going, hey, yeah, maybe I'll pick up a couple of boards just to see from these world-class shapers that shape for all these great athletes. Might as well try and get one to see. And again, a lot of Mayhems. You see Lucas Silveira, who picked up a quiver of boards when he was over there. He's riding some of those boards, the Mayhems. So that stable did really well. I mean, the Mayhems, or I would say probably of the quarterfinals in the men and women, there was over half of the Mayhems under their feet.
We saw the finish of a wave of Rafael Teixeira. A little frustration from him as he finishes down on the insides. And as he makes his way back out, let's go down and hear from our reigning Olympic champ, our 2019 world champ, the man who's lit up this beach here today, Italo Ferreira. It's down with Joanna.
That's right. I had a hard time finding you because everyone is on top of you. But as soon as you hit the water, you're putting on a show. What are you even doing here? You don't need this.
Português, né? Tô em Portugal, fala português. O gringo põe na tradução lá.
I'll give you a few words at the end to speak in Portuguese, okay? But I just want to know what you're doing here at the Challenger Series.
Yeah, I'm just cruising with my friends, and this place is one of my favorite places in the world. You know, Portugal. I have a good memory here, and it's nice to be back. It's nice to surf here. It's nice to see my friends from here, and yeah, I'm just cruising around, and the heat was super fun. I tried to get some waves, and the current was crazy, but it was fun.
And I'll give you some time now to say some words in Portuguese because I know there's a lot of people watching and they want to listen to you.
Os caras estavam lá no Brasil perguntando, poxa, tu tá no canheste, tu vai competir, não sei o que. Eu falei, vou lá. Se tiver umas ondas, eu vou entrar. E aí o Jacques falou, pô, nunca tive competindo ao vivo, vai lá, pega umas ondas lá. E eu entrei na bateria, foi legal. Pegar umas ondas com os moleques, o Hiroto pegou 2 ondas muito boas. Eu consegui pegar umas outras. E tô aproveitando com eles, né? Eu tô já de férias. Pra mim tá sendo muito divertido pelo ano que foi, né? E tô só aproveitando. Daqui a alguns meses já começo a treinar de verdade para virar a chave para os anos seguintes, porque eu tenho grandes objetivos. Então é isso, amarradão de estar aí com a galera.
Thank you very much. I'll let you enjoy the rest of your day.
Awesome, thanks Italo, great stuff, Joanna. And a stoked Italo Ferreira, he's having fun, loves his time in Portugal, and loves surfing waves, and there's some fire in the belly of a Samuel Poop. I think that was Happy Fist, not Sad Fist.
No, that was Happy Fist, for sure. I mean, and again, passionate about how important these events are. You know, again, you have these 4 opportunities to make do, so he would think right here, this is one of those opportunities. I've wanted this event before. I need to make sure that I get through this first round heat again. He's already up against the wall with Kanoa Irishashi and Kalani Ball getting some good numbers, and that's why he's happy. Very nice start to this wave. Getting the outside connection, 3 solid, massive moves, and a 4th to finish. Yeah, this is going to be a great number. And that's why he was happy. The happy fist came out because he just smashed that wave.
Absolutely tore that thing apart, and he knows it as well. So a good number coming the way of Samuel Pupo, looking to get the jump. Kalani Ball's actually gone into first because Kanoa's still sitting on that 0.5, so the backup of Ball, it's only a high 3, but good enough for first right now, just over 9.5 on the clock remaining. Igarashi goes to second, scoring for Pupo, needs 2.51 for second. Good chance of going into first, a very good chance. They're going to shuffle things up as we see a little wave swing in towards Kanoa Igarashi of the championship tour. Of course, spends a lot of time in this part of the world, knows how to pick a wave at Ribeira. Here he finds a section, clean and crisp on the rail as ever. Precise surfing from Kanoa. We'll follow him down from the drone, and that's really nice again from him. Nice pace and rhythm to his surfing on this wave. Just belting this thing a couple more times through the inside, just slicing through the slopes. And throwing in a little chop pop as well for good measure. All things 90s coming back in fashion, including, can I add, the dangling earring.
Yes, I did see the dangling earring.
It's almost
the star.
Think of the hair, the beard, think of some of the gold, a little bit of a beard Baracus vibe almost to certain aspects. I wonder if, are you a big A-team guy at all?
I was. It's my era.
Howling mad murder. Well, more great chat like that. Under 8.5 to go. We're going to go to break. Join us for more live action from beautiful Portugal right after the commercial break. A very good afternoon from the sunny shores of Ribeira de las MEO Vissla Pro Ericeira is the order of business. Things hotting up in terms of performances, action, scores, swell, everything just kind of ramping up. The only thing heading out the other way is the tide, which is also good news. It takes us towards that kind of high to mid, which is generally our favored period of the tidal curve down here in Ericeira. Samuel Pupo's number is updated. It's a great number. Excellent range, 8.23. So he goes straight to first with that. Scores to come in for Kanoa, though. He got a decent wave of his own. Score to come in for him. Rafael Teixeira struggled a bit. He's got a number to drop as well. This one's not had a whole lot of waves ridden. Pete had 2 pieces of excellent action so far, but otherwise not loads of frequency in terms of the waves.
But high quality surfing happening, which is great to see because that was exciting. I mean, Kalani had a great wave there. We're also seeing Sammy with an excellent ride, and we're also going to wait on a score for Kanoa Igarashi. He's only a 2.2 to turn the heat. I think he'll even be putting himself right into maybe first place again. As we speak, the score's in.
Comes in for Kanoa 6-6, a good number, back in first. He wasn't out for long, and now he's back there. And a healthy total, 15.10 for Kanoa Igarashi, representing Japan. And looking for another big, strong showing here. Super competitive, certainly feel like he should be very much there on finals day. Going for the glory and the silverware, will not be remotely phased by taking on the likes of Italo and surfers of that ilk. Some people maybe among our field here, sort of earlier on in their careers, will want to be looking up a little bit like, wow, but you think Kanoa, the bigger the surfer he comes up against, the more he just wants to step up.
Another one of those surfers that big event, big heats, he loves it. He loves to be a part of it, he wants to be a part of it, and he wants to mix it up. He wants to be in that world title conversation. I think that next year his definite goal is to make it to that final 5. And once you're there, then you're in contention. One day, a couple heats, you know, depending where you finish, you could find yourself at a world champion, as a world champion, which is exactly where Kanoa wants to be. I mean, that's what he was groomed to be. And I know internally that's where he wants to be. He doesn't want to end a career without a world title.
Let's see how he goes down here in Ribeira del As. Not really too much points-wise in terms of significance for him, but just loves to win heats. Of course, loves this wave as well. Let's check out the story of how this one's gone for him. It's the heat recap of heat number 13. And early on, Kanoa just looked vicious.
Yeah, this was the highest number of the heat, an 8.5. Just beautiful stuff on that outside section. Hard not to give that excellent numbers, you know, especially when you haven't seen a lot of work done on that outside section. You know, there's this mid portion of a slower period of time, but he actually got some maneuvers done once it opens back up for him here. And he saw it happening. I think he just knew that it was going to come to this inside section to be able to finish this wave off. Little tail throw there, climbs the whitewater, but wave loses its energy, but work had already been done. And then a different kind of wave for Sammy Pupo, but he unloaded on it. Beautiful 3 turns, all of them excellent. And in the critical section, all of them at the most vertical part of the wave. 4 turns, actually, we'll say it, and an 8.23. So matching Kanoa Igarashi just a little under, and that was really a big moment for him because he had been kind of struggling to get big numbers. This was Kanoa's backup score here of a 6.6. And good read on this wave because we saw this one from the start of it as a drone angle, and he saw where he took off. He took off deep in the lineup, so he positioned himself for the smaller inside wave, but he saw that it was going to have the line needed to get the backup score, to get himself out of that 3rd position, which he did, gets a 6.6. So Kanoa right now, this one took him to the front. And I loved your conversation about the 90s, because the 90s were a heyday for a 50-year-old. so I love the 90s. Did have the fall at the end there, but I mean, he pulls that one down. We're seeing, you know, 7 5s and 8s, and we're seeing some of the biggest heat totals that we've seen. But even with that, he still has a 15.1 two-wave total, so that's solid.
Setting up our finish with 2.5 to go. It means tall orders for Kalani Ball and Rafael Teixeira, particularly the Brazilian in force. Got a lot to do. 9.06, that requirement's hit on your screen. Kalani Ball, the Aussie, needs a high 7 as well. 7.87 is the requirement set. Stacking up though, and opportunities, they'll come knocking. Kalani Ball, first priority, needs to make his mark really on his next wave. Needs to find himself some qualities. He has a little adjuster in the lineup. He likes to look at this. He'll pull the trigger. And we'll follow this one from behind and above. Kalani Ball deep in the bottom. And just kind of sweep down. Not a super steep section, and that wave always kind of crumbling at him from the middle. Not really what he was after. He's used up priority, a little bit of time. Take away as well. Maybe he'll find something on the way back out. Teixeira, meanwhile, takes on a section, does well. Comes out with a ton of speed. Kind of crouches down, that characteristic style. And this one sets up nicely. That's a big turn from him there. Accelerate around the section, and once again wait patiently for things to get steep enough in order for him to detonate. As I'll get a little bit hung up on some white water. Didn't see a 9.06 up there, but I saw much better surfing from him.
Much better, and I would say that this is the type of wave that he's accustomed to. His backhand is very solid, but I'll say his one win that I know of in Santa Cruz at Steamer Lane, so a similar style of wave, and so he knows and understands this type of transition. No worries wearing a wetsuit, so he's comfortable on all of that. And this was much better surfing here. I mean, and he's got a pretty solid two-wave total already. You know, he's in double digits, but ultimately the quality of surf in this heat has risen significantly, and so he's fighting his way. Now needs a big number of the 9.06 in order to turn the heat.
Second place, Pupo Sabwell flying down the line here. He'll tag one, kind of drift over. Comes down with a ton of speed. Puts up foam climb, float maneuver. Snap out of the white water. Still speculating down the line on a section, which cooperates. He's got a nice bit of hit here. He'll just float that thing up, and he likes it. Good stuff from him.
Another good number going to come for Sammy Pupo. Is it rivaling that 6.5? I would say so, especially those ending sections. Really did open up for him and smoothed out. You know, it moves into the cove there, especially at this tide now that we're seeing. The high tide was around 1:30 local time. We're at, what, almost 3 now? So significantly after that tide, which probably the best time of the day.
We'll stick with live action here. This is Kalani Ball. Got himself a wave. Waiting for a couple of scores in. He'll just put himself with a little grab rail down car, put himself back behind the section, and unfortunately from his point of view, some deep water, just putting chunks in the face, kind of arresting his forward momentum. And at this point realise this isn't really offering him up the kind of stuff he needs to get out of this heat. Come up in a tough clash where surfers have got excellent scores, but also back them up with sixes. Let's get another look anyway at this wave from Kalani.
Yeah, it was important. We kind of came in probably right at this point here, so he didn't have a lot going on that outside section. Doesn't feel like this is going to be the 7.87 needed, especially since we're still waiting on a score from Sammy Pupo, which could actually lift his two-wave total. Pretty safe to say Kanoa and Sammy are going to move through.
Kalani Ball just trying to work something over. That last hurrah doesn't come off on this particular occasion. It's been a really entertaining heat to watch.
It's true. I loved it. It was good. I mean, great surfing by Kanoa and Sammy, and even Rafael put together some great waves. And Kalani.
In light of everything that's happened, that win from Samuel Pupo, that will feel like an awful long time ago. You know, you think about surfers building up momentum and trying to carry that through. That was ages ago. It feels even longer than it was. It was 2 years.
No,
it
it's
feels
so
like
true.
5. So he'd be excited to come back here. First heat, smash it, go excellent.
Yeah, and especially after the loss in the first round over there at the US Open. So this was a definite momentum kick for Sammy, and he needed it, you know, and it felt probably a little bit stuffed at the beginning because Kalani put some pretty good waves in the early part of this heat, and Kanoa, so he's like all of a sudden is back against the wall, but things were bright for him, and he made do with the opportunities he got, and got himself a second place.
Igarashi, another fan favorite, makes his way in. Always good with his time as well, with his fans forthcoming to stoke people out. Chance to see and meet their heroes. Surf stars, men and women down here at this beautiful right-hand point break for a good, well, we've got 10 days now waiting period. We're on the second one of them. MEO Vissla Pro Ericeira, celebration of professional surf culture in this part of the world. Autumn season, prime for surfing. What we're really thinking about is qualifying surfers for the championship tour next year. That's the scene from the rocks up here. Afternoon sunshine in Portugal. Igarashi and Pupo official 1-2, very healthy score lines for them. We're going to get a quick commercial break.